Hello everyone, my name is Peter So, and this is my midterm project based on the Natural History Museum located in London. As for the narrative of the level, the player embodies an infamous robber who believes they struck jackpot when finding a secret entrance to the Natural History Museum during their renovations. You have your eyes on two pairs of artifacts that could potentially set you up for life. Traverse the vastness of the museum while avoiding security who patrols the halls and escape with the riches. The game will feature mechanics found traditionally in stealth games such as enemies that move, crouch, and running. Additionally, the artifacts that need to be collected will act as keys to open the main entrance to the door. With this game, I wanted to put emphasis on the freedom of player traversal, but simultaneously providing them with just enough so they don't get lost. Initially, at the start of the level, the player is given two very distinct choices, the left or the right. On the left, we could see that there is obviously some sort of debris kind of blocking the player from continuing on. Meanwhile, on the right, we could see that the plank which existed on the left side is on the floor and there's obvious sorts of damage done to the door. And this crevice kind of acts as the affirmation which causes the player to go forward. Once this player enters this area, they could see that there's a sort of hedge kind of blocking the view of the player, and this is to kind of rid the player from having any ideas of heading left because the intended sort of direction for the player is to head to the right. But you could still traverse this way, but it's not the intended path. Heading this way, we are shown this grand central area, and the initial thought that you get is just it's vast. It's insanely huge, and this is the sort of incentive which kind of leads the player to explore this area more. And instead of heading left, we'll head in the optimal path, which is right. As you can see, there is some more debris kind of hanging around to stop the player from continuing on that way. And once you reach this point in the balcony, you could see so many things and kind of assess how you're going to move throughout the space. These lines kind of acting as guiding lines which lead the player to the optimal path of the gem, and we could also see the two enemy types, the stationary type and the mobile type, which patrol these areas. So we'll take these stairs over here and kind of head down. Once we head down the stairs, we could see that there's an electrical box to the right and the wires leading to the optimal pathing. So we'll follow this. Oh, as we head down here, we could see that this enemy is about to turn. So we want to avoid that and instead take this pathway. And as we saw from top above, we know where the red artifact is. So we could just go grab that and kind of head out. Oh, we want to watch out for this guy too. So we'll wait for the light to pass through and go through. And in this area, we could see that there's a sort of column and this glass kind of framing the two stationary enemies, right? Which is to show that if we were to go in this direction, it would ultimately end in failure because these two are so close in proximity that we would get caught. So instead, this is where a crouching mechanic comes in handy, and we slyly pass through them. As you can see by the light, there's another stationary here. Once we reach this point, there's two pathways you could take. You could either head upstairs and jump down on the gem that's over there, or you could head in the intended direction, which is through the first floor. So I will follow the intended direction. Alright, as we come here, we could see that there is an obvious pileup of some sort, right? Compared to other areas in the sky, there is just a huge concentration of scaffoldings, which makes me believe that I have to head up on these walls somehow. So I will take the only other path that is open, which is right here. Meanwhile, avoiding the pink glare that is the flashlight of the enemy. That was close. So we'll climb up these scaffoldings. And we jump up here. Once we reach here, jump here. And we could see the teal ball, or the teal artifact. Now, see the foreshadowing up in here. We could see, we saw from earlier before that this scaffolding kind of leads somewhere. So we'll climb up on top of these and head out of here. We could see again, there's a sort of glare. You always want to be watching, your corners because you never know how fast they will come back. Run past these ramps, climb past these scaffoldings, and with our riches, we slowly climb up these grand stairs and look back at this vast space and say goodbye because we had the final laugh. But that is my level. Thank you for watching.